Welcome to Tech Tuesday. Thank you all for coming. I just want to keep this brief. I know it's the end of the year. I know a lot of students have laptops and computers that they've probably had for 4 years or 3 years. I know one student, she's had her laptop, I think, for 5 or 6 years now, and she's not quite ready to graduate. But she wants to get a new computer, and this presentation is kind of for her and people like her, and everybody else who ever has a computer. If you have an old computer, what do you do with it? You don't just throw it in the trash. There are a lot of things you can do. One of my favorite things, the most creative thing, and I think one of the most difficult things you can do with an old computer is make crafts with it. This person here in this picture, this is an actual picture of something somebody did. They turned their computer into a fish tank. So they took out everything inside, put glass in it or plastic and caulked it and sealed it. And it's now a fish tank. So they've got, I think they said they had 4 minnows living in there. So you can turn it into a fish tank. You can turn it into a planter. One of my favorites is you can turn it into a safe. Because if you've got a really old computer and it looks old, probably nobody's going to steal it. So you could hide valuables in it and you'd be okay. Because they're not going to steal your computer, your old computer. You can use it for parts. You can also, if you have matching computers, if you have a couple of them or 4 of them, you could use them for table legs. And you're using your computer for crafts. The one really interesting thing I didn't mention here, if you don't mind getting your hands really dirty and using tools, the hard drive that spins in your computer has very powerful magnets inside. So you can take those magnets out and use them as refrigerator magnets. Not recommended if you have small children in your home, though. The second most difficult thing to do with your old computer that's on my list today is upgrade it. Chances are pretty good, unless it's a more modern Mac computer, you can upgrade your machine by adding RAM, which is the working memory. So if your computer's a little slow, if you've got multiple applications over, you upgrade the RAM, and that will speed up your computer. It'll feel like your computer's a little bit newer. The second thing you can do is upgrade the hard drive. Inside those old hard drives, or most bigger hard drives, there are spinning disks and those 2 magnets I talked about. Well, you can buy a solid-state hard drive, which is like a flash USB memory stick, and you can stick that in your computer, and it will become faster as well. These are fairly easy physical upgrades you can do. There are lots of instructional videos online, and generally with a laptop or a desktop, you'll only have to remove the cover of the computer and a couple extra screws. Usually these aren't difficult upgrades. Any questions? A solid-state hard drive. Now, the downside of going with a solid-state hard drive is you have your big hard drive, let's say it's 500 gigabytes. A solid-state hard drive is going to be a little bit more expensive if you wanted that kind of size. But the advantage of the solid-state hard drive is that once you've transferred all your files over, you can still use your old big hard drive, your spinning hard drive, as an external hard drive, so you can still copy files to it or whatever you want. So this is one of my favorite options because it's pretty easy to do, and many computers can actually take a RAM upgrade and a solid-state hard drive. Another favorite thing to do, sell the computer. I prefer Craigslist to eBay. eBay charges a fee for sellers, whereas Craigslist is free. And with Craigslist, you don't have to worry about scams as much. You meet in person to deliver them your hard drive or your computer, and they buy it from you, and it's really easy. Unfortunately, before you do either of these things, though, you'll need to do one of the next steps, things you can do in my list of things to do with an old computer. You'll want to erase the hard drive. So most computers nowadays come with a part of the hard drive that has the original manufacturer installation on it. So all you have to do is restart the computer, and it will erase all of your stuff for you so that you don't need to worry about it falling into the hands of somebody else. If you saved perhaps tax documents, maybe credit card statements. If you've saved stuff on your computer, you can erase it fairly easily by resetting. Usually all that's involved in that is holding down 2 or 3 buttons on your keyboard as you start it up, and that lets you reset your computer. If you're not sure of what buttons to hold down, you can Google it. You Google the computer reset and the model of your computer, and that will usually come up with some kind of video or instruction on how to do that. Plus, the people at the help desk and I are also happy to help you with that. So resetting your computer. If you reset your computer as well, that can erase all of the files, which also can speed up your computer so that it seems like it's a new computer again. If you don't want to reset your computer, though, you can also repurpose the computer. You can install 1 or 2 additional pieces of software and then use it for something else. You can use it as a media center. How many of you actually have a movie collection or songs or pictures that you might want to see on your TV sometime? Anybody? Movies? No? Home movies? No home movies? No pictures? You don't want to share? Wow, I guess I'm truly a geek. At my house we have lots and lots and lots of pictures and home movies and songs, and we like to have a computer or something like a computer hooked up to our TV so we can see those. So you can use it as a media center. Another common thing, or perhaps less common thing considering my audience, is a kitchen computer. My wife looks up recipes online. There you go. And if you've got a really old computer or even a really old tablet now, 5 years I guess is old for a tablet, you can put it in the kitchen and you can look up recipes on it, and it will keep those recipes on a screen for you so you don't have to print them out or keep running back and forth to the computer. And it's not such a big deal if it gets dirty. Now, one of the neat things I think about an iPad and other tablets is you can stick them in a Ziploc bag and still touch the screen so it won't get dirty. All right, so you can use your old computers, your old tablets as a kitchen computer. Garage computer, same idea. When I'm working in the garage, sometimes I like to have some music. You can listen to the radio, but I don't have a lot of radios around my house. I have lots of computers. So I can bring my computer out into the garage. A final thing that's a little bit more difficult to set up is a file server. How many of you have had a computer crash? No computer crashes? Wow, you guys are awesome. I have had a computer crash. And it's a good idea to have backups, and one way to do that is by transferring the files or copying the files to a dedicated computer that just holds files. It just holds stuff. And depending on your skills or how much you want to develop skills, you can set up a file server on your own home network or in your home to store those files. Another great option that I've done occasionally and still do on occasion, and many people do and many geeks do, you could just leave the computer in your closet and swear for years that you're going to clean it up and sell it until it gets so old that you haven't ever done that you couldn't even get $50 for the old computer. So when it's time to move, you just pick it up and throw it away. Not the preferred option, but storing the computer indefinitely is also one way to deal with an old computer. But of course, the easiest thing, I think, for dealing with an old computer is you can recycle it. The Colorado Springs city website actually has a list of computer recyclers that you can bring the computer to, and they will dispose of your computer properly for you. Additionally, probably even easier than going to the website, is you can just bring your old computer, tablet, or electronics to the help desk in the basement of the library, and we will recycle your computer for you. It doesn't get much easier than putting your computer in your car or strapping it to your back and bringing it to work and just leaving it at the help desk during regular business hours so that we can dispose of it properly for you. All right, any questions? One thing, of course, I forgot to add, it's always a good idea before you let your computer leave your hands is to do this one, reset your computer or erase your computer's hard drive. There are several free apps online that will let you erase your computer's hard drive so that there's nothing on it. Mac, for a long time, and this is one of the great things about Mac, I think, is it comes with this program called Disk Utility, and the Disk Utility has 4 settings for erasing your hard drive. The first setting is it just basically deletes all the files from it. The 4th setting is the Department of Defense certified method of erasing your hard drive. It writes 7 times. It writes data onto everything on your hard drive 7 times so that your files are irrecoverable. So if you've ever seen like a CSI show where you've got the forensic computer scientist, they recover the images, or they cover the video from the hard drive of a computer. Well, erasing the hard drive 7 times with Disk Utility is a very effective way to keep people from doing that. Any questions? Werner?
If I want to install a solid system hard drive, how do I transfer the files from the old hard drive to the new?
Very good question. There are many ways to do that. One, you can contact your friendly help desk people, and we can help you do that. There's lots of software available for free and commercially that will take a complete snapshot of your hard drive that you can then install onto the new hard drive. If you spend a little bit more money on a solid state hard drive, some of them actually come with kits. And that's usually a cable and maybe an external drive case and a CD or a DVD that has the hardware that will do that for you. Essentially, you take your solid state hard drive, you hook it up to the cable, you plug that into the computer, you put the software into your computer, and run the software, and it says, okay, I see this has got Windows on it, and it copies everything from that hard drive onto your new solid state hard drive. And that would be by far the easiest way to upgrade to a solid state. If you've got a desktop hard drive, though, you don't even really need to do that. You can just put both hard drives in, change a setting, and then it will start from there, and then you can use Windows software sometimes to actually just copy it over from within Windows. And of course, there are many, 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 many people in town who would love to help you with that for a small fee. Did that answer your question? The RAM upgrade is generally a little bit easier because there's no files to copy over. And so that would probably be the first one I'd recommend if you have a slow computer rather than doing anything else. Other questions?
How do you know when it's a matter of doing an upgrade like this, or just doing a software upgrade to a new operating system, or if it's even possible to go from an old operating system to a new one with the hardware you have?
How do you know? Usually, Mac OS and Windows will tell you ahead of time if you try. So I know that Windows usually has an upgrade tool that will assess your computer and tell you if your computer is ready for the next version. Yeah, Mac OS has specifications listed online, and nowadays anyway, with the Mac, if you go to the App Store to download the next version of the operating system, they will actually say your computer does not meet the minimum hardware specifications to run this operating system. So they're pretty good that way. Google and Bing, just searching it online is another good way if you know the model number of your computer. And that's how you know if your current computer can run the next operating system. A really good a good policy, if you want to upgrade your computer's operating system, is to do an erase and install. So you wipe out everything on your computer and then install the operating system new. And that way you don't have old stuff on your computer that can slow down your new computer. It's especially effective if you've got a virus or a Trojan horse or malware on your machine. And as far as if you wanted to figure out whether your computer was ready for a solid state hard drive or a RAM upgrade, you can go to Crucial.com. They sell RAM and solid state hard drives. And so of course they're going to tell you to buy theirs, but they've got a neat tool that you can download, and it will scan your system and tell you how much RAM you have, whether you can upgrade your RAM and how much you can upgrade to, and also if you can replace, if you have a solid-state hard drive, and they'll recommend ones that are compatible with your system. And then from there, it's like right there on their website which ones you can buy and how much they cost, so that you could very easily do that. Of course, you can also take the information they give you, look it up on Amazon or Best Buy, and get it for cheaper or more conveniently or quickly. Other questions? Excellent. Thank you very much for coming. Next week we'll be doing paper-free office. How to become a paper-free office. All right. Thank you very much.